Greetings, grave robbers, and welcome back to Not the Television Graveyard. I am your non-practicing TV necromancer, TV's Noah Houlihan, and this is the Stay Doomed Hiatus. And today on the hiatus, I actually have a special treat for you. This is a remastered version of a pilot episode to a podcast series that I never pursued. So it in itself is an episode of Stay Doomed, I guess, because it is also something that never got out of the pilot stage. It's also something that kind of inspired the idea of Stay Doomed. This is the pilot to a podcast I created, I think about 10 years ago at this point, called Binge Watching. The idea is I would get some of my friends together. We would watch an entire series of television, not one season or less, and we would discuss the entire show while eating food because, you know, binge watching and eating and things like that. And the food would be tied to whatever we watched. So this is the pilot episode where we talk about Breaking Bad and we eat fried chicken. So, if you don't like the sounds of eating, this is not going to be the best episode for you. But I thought I would put this out here. It's a two-parter, so part 2 will drop next week. I also remastered it a little bit, included some more cutaways, fixed some of the audio issues. The audio is not great. There's some problems with it as well. But I fixed what I could, and now I'm going to present this to you. And next week, after you listen to the whole thing, I'll include a little bit of thoughts at the end of it to explain why we didn't pursue this format. So there'll be a mini Stay Doomed episode about binge watching at the end of this. It's a bit confusing. There's layers upon layers. So please enjoy this. Like I said, this is over 10 years old, so there's some plugs in it that don't currently make sense or are no longer relevant, but this is me sitting down with my pals Matt Haggerty, Neill Carrol, and Will Liam, and we are discussing Breaking Bad. And I get to say this is something I haven't gotten to say before a podcast during an intro in quite some time, so this is going to take me back. Take it away, Kirby Crackle. Of Binge Watching. We have just finished a little while ago watching all of Breaking Bad. I am joined by my co-host, the fly to my meth lab, Mr. Will Liam. How you doing, Will?
That's the best one that you've ever done.
Oh, well, you're not going to do every one of these shows, so.
I'd like to.
Oh, well, then you better watch some more TV. How you doing, Will?
I'm doing good.
Excellent. Good to have you here. Next, we also have Mr. Neill Carrol. He was a former guest of the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. He also helps run the High Note Humor open mic over at the Tap Room. How you doing, Neil?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Now, Neil, you didn't binge watch. You watched in correct time, right?
Sort of. I binge watched for like 2 weeks until I caught up with like 3 episodes left, and then I realized I had to wait a week between episodes.
Isn't that awful?
It was the worst thing, yeah. I learned between the second to last episode and the last episode, that entire week, I kept thinking, I hope I don't die, because then I won't know how Breaking Bad ended.
I went through the same experience with Lost, so I can totally understand that. And also to my left, he's a new face, or voice, rather, to the podcasting world of Plus 2 Comedy. He also helps run the Tap Room open mic for High Note Humor. It's Matt Haggerty. How you doing, Matt?
Good. What's going on?
Now, you binge-watched this as well, correct?
I did. Netflix.
Yes, Netflix. Now, did you also make the mistake where you thought the show ended with Hank pooping?
No.
Oh, I totally made that mistake. I
I know a lot of people who made that mistake.
Real Sopranos ending.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I guess he knows.
The end.
That sounds really interesting. Now here on Binge Watching.
Still better than the Seinfeld finale.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love the Seinfeld finale. I thought that was great.
All right.
Everybody comes back.
There was a, not to get off topic, but there was a script floating around that was like a spoil on the internet that there was a spoiler for the Seinfeld finale before it premiered.
Oh, really?
And I read it, and it was a million times better than the actual finale.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It ended with Hank pooping.
Yeah.
No, did it? All right.
It was-
Well,
yeah.
we'll have
And then
to
it just cut to black.
We'll have to have you back when we binge watch Seinfeld.
Okay.
Well, here at Binge Watching, we also like to binge eat while we binge watch. So we're eating Kentucky Fried Chicken because Los Polos Hermanos is not a real place where we can get chicken right
See,
now.
I was just going to go with the
Sure.
lie that we were eating those.
Oh, then we are.
We are,
absolutely are.
The Chicken Brothers.
We ordered pizza,
If you're in America, it's
Right.
Chicken Brothers.
Chicken Brothers,
Yep.
and we ordered pizza, but it's on the roof. So let's
Oh,
talk.
like from the show.
Yes, the show.
Oh, I was about to go to the roof.
No,
Thank you for letting me know that.
It's been sitting up there for days. Days? How long?
I'd still eat it.
What kind of pizza?
Yeah, where's it from?
Pepperoni.
It's a big one. So we got to talk about Breaking Bad, gang. So let's talk about Breaking Bad and some of our characters and some of the things that we have happen here.
Huh?
First off, I have to say, the pilot to this show is the greatest short film I had ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
yeah.
Like, there's a part of me that after the first episode was like, I might just be done. I think I'd be happy if this just exists as this.
Yep.
Because I was worried it was going to get worse. Of course, it doesn't.
No.
That
surprisingly.
first episode is just amazing. And the very first line, I'm not sure if you guys caught it, but he talks about how
Growth, then decay, then transformation. It is fascinating.
which is this entire series.
Absolutely.
It is that, and it just amazed me that they had that early in the show.
It's pretty deep.
But we're gonna go deep. That's the whole point of this.
I remember when the show came out, I wasn't interested at all.
No, me
Oh
neither.
yeah, me neither.
And-
We were in college, right?
Yes.
I was like, why do I want to watch the dad from Malcolm in the Middle selling meth?
Well, that would be the only. I was like, well, it is the dad from Malcolm in the Middle. But...
Yeah, the dentist.
Oh yeah,
He's
Yeah.
the
It's
dentist.
the anti.
I only know that because of NPR.
But that was actually my biggest issue. Is like not only is it the dad from Malcolm in the Middle, but like all the advertising shows him making meth in his underwear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they
Very,
made it
like,
look wackier.
Yeah, wacky Malcolm in the Middle's dad
Yeah.
sort of way. But
And I kept waiting for that. Like I thought that they would, and then me and Noah go to conventions. People would dress like Walt and Jesse, and they'd be like buddy buddy, and I was like, oh, so that's what the show's about. And I kept waiting for that to happen
Right.
in the show. I'm like, there's about 2 minutes where they're friends.
I kept
Yeah.
waiting for Frankie Muniz.
yeah.
That'd have been sweet.
Well, in the very first episode, and this becomes a theme in the entire show that really bothers me, like thinking back on it. But we see Walt; he has cancer. He's super bummed about
Spoiler alert.
it. And oh yeah, we're gonna spoil the whole goddamn series. So
Oh, shit, you guys haven't seen
no, stop listening. What are you doing? He catches Pinkman. As he flees when he's the captain or whatever stupid name he has,
Right.
as he flees from his meth lab, and Walt goes up to him and says, well, we're going to cook meth or I'm going to turn you in. Showing that Jesse has no choice in this matter and continues to have no choice in
At all.
anything
Yeah.
that happens in the rest of his life.
He's pretty much at the mercy of Walt's
Yeah.
will. The entire series.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And it's really upsetting.
I know, to the point where he literally becomes a slave in the final episode
Yeah.
or the final season.
And I consider him to a neutral good character in Pinkman because like push comes to shove, he always does the right thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like his moral scale, like he's a criminal, super criminal.
But everything he does bothers him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really bummed out about a lot of stuff.
Big symbol for him in the show is basically he was a dog.
Right.
To the point where they make reference to it several times. In fact, I think it might have been the end of season 4, or whatever point that Walter is about to go and change his identity and run off. The last shot of that episode is the car driving off and a stray dog crosses the street, and
Right.
it's symbolic of him leaving Jesse behind. And obviously when he's being enslaved by the Nazis, he's on a leash. I mean,
Yeah.
he's tethered.
Legit on a leash.
Right. So, basically like a dog, he's just at the will of his master. he just does what he's told with no.
Well, let's go through the series. Let's start from the beginning here. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's talk about some of the theories that we're going to be talking about throughout this, because a lot of things are going to come up as we go through it. One is going to be the color theory. That the colors. Now, the two ways I always hear it is that the colors represent different emotions. Like purple is royalty, white is weakness, I believe. Green being greed, and then I also heard that the people are colors.
Right.
You know, we got Walter White, we got Jesse Pinkman, we got Skylar, which is blue. And like, did you pick up on this like originally when you
The
guys
colors I
watched it?
got while I was watching it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they focused on it when it was gray matter and stuff. Like he kept talking about his
Right.
dad
That's
was
when
the
it
color,
kicked in with me.
and they kept calling it sky blue, and then you keep hearing his wife's name, and you're like, oh, it's blue.
Yeah. The other theories we're going to be talking about are the reflections. There's a big deal with reflections in this. Where he looks at himself in the mirror and skewing, and the duality of Walter White versus Heisenberg and the difference between the two characters, even though they're the same person.
I never bought that.
I totally.
He is himself. He's
But-
not. It's not like he became a different guy. He just became an asshole. Well, he always was an asshole. He just let it kind of go.
Yeah, and he got a hat.
He did get
Yeah.
a hat and sunglasses.
He got a hat and sunglasses. New guy.
And grew a goatee instead of a mustache.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
That's 100% true. He did get all those things. And what's another theory that I'm missing? Oh, this is something new that I recently came across, but that Walter White is a feminine character. Have you guys?
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard this.
Yeah. He cares mostly about his family, and most of his murders take place through poison, which is usually the way women.
interesting.
I thought that was very strange.
A lot of women love the show for it being a show about a guy just. Not necessarily going off the deep end, but just I guess almost Breaking Bad. Yeah, reclaiming his masculinity in a sense.
Yeah.
A lot of women actually identified with him
Yeah,
and
very
loved the
strange.
show. Yeah.
And then of course the big theory is that every time he kills someone he gets some of his traits.
Right.
I also believe that every time Jesse kills somebody he loses those traits. That is a theory that I've been pushing for a while now. But now I have a podcast to push it specifically.
You have a pulpit.
We'll see how it goes. So
Like a soapbox.
we got Jesse.
Hey, why do you have a soapbox in here? It's so weird.
Where do you keep your
why are you
soapbox?
literally standing on a soapbox? No, get down from there.
We're in a basement. I don't have enough headroom to stand on a soapbox.
He wasn't taller than Haggerty enough, so he felt like he had to add some.
Basically, we're going to go through this. We're going to decide whether or not any of these theories are true, whether or not Walt is Mega Man and is stealing everyone that he's defeats power. So let's go through this. We have Netflix up so we can look at the different episodes. But
So if you guys listening could just wait while we watch
roll
this.
through.
Because there's no way to edit this.
Well, the first big, it's impossible. The first big event that happens is we have the RV and Walt kills the two drug dealers that come out and stop him from being a meth dealer, and he does that with poison. I'd like to bring that up. That it's the first time he attempts real violence against someone, and it's with poison. And
What's with science? It's not like he dropped nightshade into their drinks. He exploded a cloud of poison into their faces.
that's true.
well, poison is chemistry, right? Science.
I know when you're you use poison, the women's weapon. I picture Game of Thrones, the tears of Lys I put in your wine cups.
Spoiler alert.
They switched.
Yeah, but they poisoned Joffrey. He's gonna die. He's dead.
I saw that out.
Yeah.
Are you saying that women can't be chemists?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Glad we got that out of the way. But we have our first
They're so good at cooking.
major hiccup.
Excuse you.
He also
You
cooks,
cook
yeah.
meth.
He
Yeah.
cooks.
That's why it's called a cook.
Wears an apron.
He does, yeah.
I was gonna say I think women are great.
Taking a point out to say that. That's great. So the first major hiccup we have are these two guys, and Crazy 8 is the one that ends up living.
Yeah.
And
With the sandwiches.
yeah, and we see him cutting the crust off of the sandwiches for him because he hates crust, which is so weird. Just in general, the idea of he doesn't like his crust. It's
Right.
Crust is the easiest thing to eat around.
Walt's just got some Uncrustables and
Yeah, that's all you need.
all right.
It's kind of funny that a hard ass killer like that I'm sorry, a hard ass killer like that. Killer.
I'm making a gurgle noise.
Does it hurt your throat?
Which
A little bit.
which Crazy 8 did when he was
When
choked
he
to
got
death.
choked.
Yeah, it all comes around.
Yeah, so we
Full circle.
have this insane scene
Like an 8-ball.
of Crazy 8 who is locked with a bike lock around his throat,
Yep.
around a pole,
Mhm.
and Walt's like, well, why don't you try to talk me into not murdering him?
Yeah.
And then he shatters the plate, and I was wondering, did you guys catch that he left a piece down there?
Not
not
until
till
he started
till
putting
Walt-
it back together.
Really?
Yeah.
I totally did, and I was like, oh, you missed a piece. That's going to be a continuity error. I caught a mistake
Hey,
in
can I-
Breaking Bad.
That was the first time, like, people see Walt becoming, like, a bad person. Like, I read a lot of forums, like, when did Walt become evil? And,
Or when did he break bad?
yeah,
Mhm.
it was way early, because in that episode, or when it starts, he's like, they, like, flip coins or something, and they're like, Jesse doesn't want to get rid of the body, but they have to get rid of the body of the one guy, and they have to kill the other guy. And then Jesse, a child who I think should still be in high school, who Walt taught, was like, please don't make me kill a human being.
Right.
And Walt goes, no, we flipped a coin. Walt, the adult man, was like, no, I want you to commit murder, child. And I was like, oh, he's awful.
Right.
It's not when he does, like, later stuff. That's it right there.
Yeah, that is a really.
Yeah.
That's a really.
When a child
You have
begs
to-
you not to make him kill.
Right.
And you're like, I don't really want to.
In a situation that you brought him into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then later you just yell at him.
Yeah.
For,
He constantly.
for not knowing how to dispose a body in acid correctly.
He
Yeah.
makes Jesse do these things, and then he's like, "You're an idiot for not knowing." Like, I hated Walt way earlier than I think a lot of people did.
See, Noah and I have had this discussion before where I just don't like Jesse.
Yeah, he
I've never
hates
liked Jesse.
and I don't
Really?
understand why you don't like Jesse.
Yeah, why don't you like Jesse?
started
I think it's
out
you
as a
like women,
scumbag.
you like Walt.
Love women.
Yeah.
Love Walt.
I think you're an effeminate character.
I like things with W's. But Jesse, he chose that lifestyle of being a drug dealer and
I
just being a
did.
scumbag, and I feel like that
and that
comes.
was the last choice he
but
made.
that comes
Yeah.
with it. Like he just.
Typical drug addict story.
He was kind of small time though, and he wasn't really trying.
Yeah,
to,
he got sucked up by Walt. Like, he
Walt.
wasn't going to kill anybody as Captain Cook.
No.
I
That
mean,
was his name.
Walt also made him a millionaire. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't even know if Walt.
cost? I don't know. Does he still have the money by the end of the?
No.
but at one
Serious?
point, that's because he's an idiot. And
He-
he was throwing money out the window.
He gave all because he was distraught. He was suffering. He had done so many awful things.
Yeah.
Not
Because
not
unlike
even a
Walt,
Roomba
he has
could-
morality.
Not even owning a Roomba. Could,
Yeah, he had lost it. Well, because the Roomba had tried to murder a child, I think.
Let me be
Had a knife,
distraught
yeah.
for-
No, it had a
Millions of
poisoned
dollars.
cigarette.
Ah, right, and a knife.
Yeah. Well, then it would be a battle bot.
We're getting way ahead of
True.
ourselves here.
I'm so sorry.
Can we have an episode about BattleBots?
Yeah, we can do BattleBots.
Oh, we
Okay.
binge watch battle bots?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is that on Netflix?
Let's put it on.
Let's screw this. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We got 3 episodes deep before we gave up on this. But yeah, we see that he kills Crazy 8, and then he gains this weird quirk where he cuts off he loses his enjoyment of crusts in this murder, which is really the tragedy of all
Absolutely.
of this. And so then we move on, and Walt needs this money for his cancer research. Or treatments, rather. He's not personally trying to.
That would completely change the landscape of the
Cure
show.
cancer with
Yeah.
this money.
Yeah, Noah's obviously never seen this, so
Yeah.
Now, this to me is the crux of this show, because everyone has seen the joke where I know I have chicken in my mouth.
Did you say cruxed?
Yeah,
It's not like you said crux.
I have chicken in my mouth.
Like a horror crux.
Like John Crux?
Is the
Like
meat
pizza-
of this show?
Pizza
Everyone,
cruxed?
I'm talking. Everyone, be quiet. His old business partner of Gray Matter
Mhm.
offers to pay for his treatment.
right. What was his name? Does anybody remember his name?
Black? Something
Yeah.
black, right?
Yeah, I think it was something black.
Yeah, because black and white made gray matter.
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. They offered to pay for. Now, everyone's seen the joke online where they say, "This is Breaking Bad in Canada," and he's like, "Oh, am I going to pay for my treatment?" And they're like, "Oh, we'll pay for it. We don't want you to die. We have health care here." And then it just says the end.
Oh, yeah.
However, like that should be how this ends, because the guy from Gray Matters is like, "Yeah, I'll pay for this. Here,
Right.
Take it. But no, this goes into his fatal flaw as a character, which is his pride.
Mm-hmm.
His pride and his ego prevent him from taking this free money that will save his life.
Yep.
And the fact that he just can't do it really hurts my opinion of him as a character.
Yeah, I understood it at first. Like, I didn't totally agree with it, but he did, because he would have been a millionaire if he had stayed with that business, and he walked away from it, and then
See, I keep forgetting this. It's not like they kicked him out of the company.
Right.
yeah, he left.
Like, this was his own fault.
He got bought out for like $10,000 or even less than that, some amount of money, and then they skyrocketed. And I got that, like, he was like, no, I want my I want to do this, because he felt emasculated. He felt helpless. And I'm sure the cancer didn't help with that, too.
Right.
And I got that. I was like, all right.
He really is his own worst enemy
Mm-hmm.
throughout the show.
Absolutely.
Guys, the guy's name was Elliot. Elliot Schwartz.
At least Schwartz,
Yeah,
which is, Schwartz is
Elliot-
German for
yeah,
black.
Elliot
There
and-
it is.
Elliot and Gretchen.
So he ends up going to like this party for him, gives them ramen noodles, and they think it's hilarious.
Right.
And everyone is wearing beige. And they
Right.
make a point to be like, what is there, a dress code here? Everyone's in beige.
And yeah, that's part of the color theory. I don't remember later on when he owns the car wash, all of his employees are wearing beige.
No, I didn't catch
Yeah.
that. I have something that's coming up later about beige, but to me, what this showed is that's what he wanted. This is what Walt wanted. He wanted to have this life on the idea that he had, and he can't. And beige is like the most plain, boring color that you
Right.
can have. So he just wants a plain life, and he just can't grasp it no matter how hard he tries or how much he fights. He's just sucked into this terrible meth world.
Right.
So,
See, I read the beige symbolized wealth.
yeah,
And
that's what I'm
being,
saying.
right, and being just having power. Like he,
Yeah.
Right.
he
But
wore the tan jacket. His employees were all tan.
Mm-hmm. But he can't. The beige symbolizes wealth, but for Walt, even having that life would just be too mundane.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
a
that
lot-
became the later thing, because he had the money,
Right.
and he couldn't walk away.
He could not do it.
Nope.
It's not enough for Walt. Then we meet my favorite character, which is Tuco. I love Tuco. He's just this insane meth dealer, and
Who respects science and explosions.
yeah, he's a big fan of.
Well,
all that
once
stuff.
something exploded in his
Yeah.
office, then yeah,
That
how
was
would you not
that was the
respect
one
explosions?
episode I liked Walt. He walked in with science, he like alchemy explodes
Yeah.
Tuco's place,
Mhm.
and Tuco's like, well, that was awesome. I guess you can work for us. And then that's the end is when he blows up that rich guy's car.
Well,
With the,
Is that the end of that?
car wash.
Right.
They're both
He
in that
puts the
episode. That
squeegee in
episode,
it.
he's Walter White, like everyman hero.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved him. And then that was it. It ended.
see, well, the thing is, when he throws this tiny little thing down,
A ninja
he's
smoke
like,
bomb.
"This is not meth." He throws it down, and just as it's about to hit the ground, it cuts to outside, where the explosion is huge.
I think it was
Sounds like-
pressure, and then it shattered the glass. Like,
But like, we don't see what happens next, and it's just Walt like leaves. So like, we're the idea is,
Let me get this straight. I steal your dope. I beat the piss out of your mule boy. And then you walk in here and you bring me more men? Woo, that's a brilliant plan, isn't it? Brilliant. You got one part of that wrong. This is not meth.
oh, look at this magic sign. Here's your money, sir.
That's
You broke all my windows. Why don't you get out
and
there
that
and make
wasn't that
meth?
after they beat up Jesse?
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
it's
he
like,
went in
that
there.
was when I was like, oh, they're gonna be friends. He's helping out Jesse.
Yeah.
It's not what happens.
No.
But for an episode, I believed.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if anyone else felt this way. But he then leaves like with the money that he should have, that he earned, and he leaves Tuco, and he gets into his car and does this weird, like, screaming celebration.
Right.
And it reminded me of the Shawshank Redemption,
where
he kind of went through this filth of this, like, dirty
the sewer
drug dealer, and then came out clean with his money and celebrated. Am I crazy? Anyone else getting this?
No, I get that.
I see the parallel you're drawing, which he's free from his captivity.
Yeah, and like he's
after wallowing through the muck.
Exactly. Exactly. Good. Not crazy.
Say what to Neill.
Which Jesse does when he's free of his captivity.
That's true.
Very
Also in a car.
Right, in a car.
In a car.
I have
Screaming
things to
loving.
say about that, but I know we're not. We're not there.
We'll get there.
All right, let's go to season 2.
What is the end of season 1?
End of season 1 is where they don't kill Tuco yet. Tuco lives until season. Oh well, Tuco's around for a while.
Yeah, he is.
But basically, then he makes a deal and he's like, "How about I give you more than we originally agreed on?" It's like, "All right, fine." And Jesse's like, "Well, what are you doing, you crazy bastard?"
Right.
And they have to steal the mescaline, and they do the whole wacky.
Yep.
And that's when Hank Schrader, super cop, figures out that they're science
we
nerds.
have not talked about Hank.
The only character I consistently liked, the only guy that was a good person.
I hated him at first.
I don't like Hank.
I
as
mean,
much as you.
I loved it. And people say that like he's an idiot for not knowing Walt. The only reason he never suspected Walt was because he loved him. He legitimately loved that man as a brother.
I understand that. I don't blame. I would say that Hank is at least partially, and not to. I mean, Walt made his own choices, but Hank is at least partially responsible for Walt getting into what he got into. Because besides the fact that he takes him on the ride along, he completely emasculates him.
He doesn't
the first
mean
episode,
to.
you
can tell he doesn't
see the
mean he's just a
relationship.
jock, though. He's not like bullying. He's just
but he's constantly in Walt's life because they're married. They're married to sisters.
We got to talk about the tequila scene where he's with Walter Jr. By the way, we didn't even bring up that Walt has a son. He has a family.
Yeah.
He's got Skylar's his wife. He's got
the baby.
Frankie Nunez.
Baby,
yet.
Not yet. Not in season 1.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And then
Frankie Muniz,
That guy, Heath Ledger's brother.
No, stop.
There's Francis.
Hey, wow, you really were a fan of that show.
Good
Huh?
show.
The kid in military school. Francis, right?
Francis, yeah.
Breaking Bad.
Oh, Breaking Bad.
So we have Walt Jr., who likes to go by a nickname that I can't.
Flint.
Yeah.
Flynn.
Like,
well, not till later on he goes by the name.
Yeah.
He only seems to go by Flynn when he doesn't like his father.
Yeah, well, that's the whole idea.
Which is great.
Right.
But, he's got some issues. And there's this great scene.
You just try to, skirt over his handicap? You're like, that's not how he's got,
We have,
he's a little twitchy.
MS, right?
Yeah. Multiple sclerosis.
Well, you guys can't see this, but Noah was.
He's like issues, and then he twitched his neck a little bit.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm not being politically
Noah
incorrect.
just looked like Jimmy from South Park.
Yeah.
I think to dehumanize him and be like he's got some problems is not politically correct.
Right,
Which I know the actor in real life has
Yes.
MS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not as bad though.
Not
It's
as
more
bad, right,
pronounced.
not as bad.
Oh, so he's a liar.
Which I didn't know for a while because I saw him on TMZ.
Yeah.
And he was like yelling at someone. This is before I even watched Breaking Bad.
He was
He's just
yelling
yelling
at
at the paparazzi. I'm
Right.
like, whoa,
Wow.
that dude is hammered.
Did you know?
Like, oh no!
Do you know that originally for their role, they were considering Michael J. Fox?
You shut up right now. I'll fucking come across this table. You know he's my personal hero, right?
Really? No, I didn't know
Michael
that.
J. Fox is what got me into performing.
Really?
Yeah, Back to the Future, man.
You should work on your MS impersonation.
No,
You just did it a little bit. I don't know if you know that.
How many puffy orange vests do you own?
one.
Okay.
I got it as a gift. I also have the hat from Back to the Future
Ooh.
2.
Mm-hmm.
And I got like 2
So
posters.
Breaking Bad was a good show.
Yeah, so it was. I hate you. But there's this scene where it is, it's a party. I forget what the party's for. I want to say it's for Walter Jr.
I think it's somebody's birthday.
Somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
Might be Walt Jr.'s birthday.
And he pours him a tequila shot.
Go ahead. Better not let your mom see.
pours him another one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And Hank's like, whoa, 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 what are you doing here? Like, let's
The
not
guy
go
who makes his
crazy.
own beer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're making your own beer and being like, "Hello, my 17-year-old. Drink to entertain me."
He just seemed like that cool uncle, though. Like,
He is that cool uncle.
Yeah.
He's a very nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
But then they end up doing all these shots, and it's like Walt is using tequila to show his dominance over his son,
Mhm.
Right.
so that Hank doesn't think that he's the new father.
Yeah,
when he
But
dies.
that's
Yeah.
Walt's problem,
It's-
not Hank's just
well,
being a nice person. The
It goes
fact that
back
Walt
to
doesn't
just-
like that.
Just the pride. He didn't want the pride to have Elliot pay for his.
Yeah, and he
cancer,
didn't want
he doesn't
Hank to help,
Right.
like, teach his kid.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong. That's not Hank's fault that Walt has issues.
Well,
He exacerbates them.
Yeah, but he exacerbates his murder problem. That doesn't excuse Walt's murder problem.
No. But
It
I
does.
feel like, but Walt's reacting to, you know,
I know, he pushes him,
literally
he just-
years of being pushed to that level where he has to prove himself.
He could come back with like a snippy comment at a party. He doesn't need to start meth dealing and murdering.
No, I disagree.
remember when Walt Jr. was being picked on at the clothing store?
Yes.
My big boy pants. Mama, could you zip up my big boy pants?
Don't. What? Don't.
Walt.
Hey, Mommy, I think I pinched a loaf in my brand new big boy pants.
What are you doing? What's wrong, Chief? Having a little trouble walking? Get off me! Get off me!
Walt kicked some ass in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he
With some high
leaves-
school kids,
He has
like-
to
Yeah.
leave first, become Heisenberg, and come back, and then whip ass.
Yeah, I tried. I was like, I wonder if he did it because he didn't want them to see he's with the family, or
Maybe. There's a phone booth outside.
yeah, he switched. He put his
Yeah.
hat and his glasses on.
But
What? I'm sorry. I was going to say, I feel like they're not even just the duality, but I feel like part of the reason the show is so popular is because we're all Walt, in a sense. We all have those moments in our day where we're like, man, I would just love to just say this or do that, but we don't do them because societal norms keep us from doing that. And Walt's this guy who's basically just dying of cancer, who's just like, screw it, I'm gonna
Do
beat the
what I
crap. Yeah, I'm gonna beat the crap out of this kid because he's picking on my son.
Yeah.
See, I related to Danny Trejo's character the most. Tortuga. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like turtles as well. So,
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm a big Hispanic guy, as you guys know, with
Yeah.
a Mary tattoo on my chest.
Right.
one of my favorite jokes has
Red
been
hair.
going up to people going, dude, we should make meth. I watched the first 3 episodes of Breaking Bad, and it seems like it's really easy and profitable.
They don't
Well,
do a good enough job with it because Walt's like walks in and starts making the purest meth ever, and then as the show goes on, you're like, he's also the smartest scientist that's ever
Yeah.
existed. Also, he's got a mutant X gene power where he can be a chemist.
I was actually reading it was in New Mexico, right? It shows in New
Yeah,
Mexico.
yeah,
Albuquerque.
There was a
Albuquerque.
big spike in meth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were trying to make it blue, and I was reading that if it was in its purest form, it wouldn't be blue at all. It would be
Yeah,
It would be
I've
clear.
heard that. That was a
so they actually
fabrication.
got that detail wrong. But
Well, this show's stupid then.
but yeah, drug dealers in New Mexico are trying to put coloring in.
Yeah, they couldn't
Yeah.
have food dye like Uncle Frank wanted to.
Yeah, there we
It's
go.
true. Yeah.
So we move on into to season 2 here, and season
Is this the
2
airplane one?
No, not yet. Not
All
yet.
right.
We don't get to the airplane until I believe season 3.
Right?
No, this is the airplane one.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah. Look at
Well,
this
I know
title of the first episode.
they keep
Remember what I
showing-
told you?
Oh, it is.
They
it
kept
is,
showing the bear.
The-
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the same things. I kept trying to what is it going to be? I'm looking for details. And planes explode.
I super get into it. Like, I'm going to figure out why that bear's in the
Yeah.
pool
Mhm.
or anybody else.
Yep.
No way.
I
No
remember,
way.
I remember when I was at this part, I was actually asking you about it because I think you were a few seasons ahead of me.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're never going to guess what the bear is.
Nah.
Yeah.
And I was trying to just wrap my brain around any possibility, and I was
then
like, oh, crap.
you brought up, and I'll let you tell me about the episodes names with the
Yeah.
bears.
So in every episode that features the bear, it's a clue to what happens. So episode 1 is 737. Episode 4 is down. episode, I think that's episode 9 or episode 10 is over.
We're researching this right now.
And then
Phoenix.
episode 13 is ABQ. So in each of those episodes is an episode that features the bear, so it's 737 down over ABQ.
Which is insanity.
Yeah.
And then the new thing I found out, we meet my favorite character.
Hot girlfriend.
Who I already said was Tuco earlier, but
You have a lot of favorite
yeah,
characters.
hotness. Because I didn't catch that her name was Jane.
You got a list
for
of
so
dead
long.
people.
No, I do have a list of dead people.
You do,
Her
yeah.
name was Jane.
Oh, okay, you didn't.
And I loved her.
Mhm.
I thought
We
she
all
was
loved
amazing.
her.
We all did, yeah.
But there's a
I
mural
thought she was all right.
in. You got to be difficult about everything.
You're extremely picky.
Let me tell you, I've been greatly considering the next episode of this being "Don't Trust the Bee," because it's Jane from.
Oh, that's right.
Breaking Bad.
That's right.
But there's a mural in Jane's bedroom
hmm
that features a purple bear falling out of the sky.
What?
Really?
Yeah,
No.
I freaked out when I
Wait,
saw
wait,
it.
I
need to
didn't-
see this.
yeah, I need to see that.
I need to go back.
You got a phone, right?
Does she do heroin and see the future like the guy from Heroes?
It's quite possible.
And then she
What?
paints it? You guys
Oh,
watch
I
that?
forgot about that.
Yeah.
What episode
I forgot
is this?
Heroes was a show that existed.
It's not.
But-
It ends kind of
Season
disappointingly.
They're bringing it back.
Season 2.
Ah,
it's just weird.
season 2 was awful of Heroes.
For another episode of Binge.
No, I don't want to watch it.
So we have going back to what happens in season 2. We see crazy Tuco, and Tuco has basically kidnapped our heroes.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, before we get into the they're looking up the picture now. I'm freaking.
It's crazy.
They are freaking out.
I need to leave now.
And,
I need to go home.
Life's not okay.
and it looks like it's in the middle of the mural is this woman just lying down like she's dead
Oh, wow.
She had OD'd.
on her back.
That's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this show is just incredible. But my favorite episode is in this season, and it's Breakage. Breakage is my favorite episode. I feel like this is the episode you could show somebody and be like, "This is why you have to get into this show."
Which one? What
And
is that?
We have Walt and Jesse are basically running their own game. So I guess this is after Tuco died, because they're running their own game. Tuco dies.
Yeah, Hank Schroeder Super Cop kills him.
Yeah.
Yes, and we meet what's his name, Leonard.
Hector Salmonanco.
who
Sal-
had
right.
no lines in this show, and yet I've seen him at every Comic-Con because he just rings a bell.
Ring that bell, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, but such like a crazy suspenseful character because you think he's a vegetable,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden he does the one thing he can do, which is ring a bell,
Yep.
which nearly ruins their lives. It's insanity.
More than once.
Yeah.
If only Hector didn't hate police more than he hated Walter White.
Yeah, it would all be over. But Breakage is Walter is upset because he should have I think $30,000 and they only end up with $29,000 because one of the junkies stole the meth.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Meth dealer problems, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Hashtag meth dealer.
Mhm.
And so he tells Jesse to go get it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Makes
And
Jesse
just
go
get
do it.
He gives him a gun and is
And he gets
Just
mad.
do it.
He says, why I hate Walt. Who's to go deal with this problem? You didn't deal with the problem right. Like, I hate him.
well, he goes. This is one of the greatest.
He was a
scenes.
boss, though.
Yeah, he
true.
was supposed to be the street
He
boss.
was the
Yeah,
boss.
but he wouldn't tell people what to do. He'd be like, just go deal with it. He was a poor boss.
His methods were effective.
Meth was effective.
His meth was effective.
Yeah, well, that's true.
That's right.
So we have this insane episode where he goes to these meth dealers or these meth addicts' house, and it's just a little boy watching the QVC,
Yeah.
and that's the only channel they have.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Don't you want to watch some cartoons or something?
Mm-hmm.
You want some cereal?"
How heartbreaking was it at the end when he says, "Just have a good life, little man."
This haunts me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was so sure that kid was going to come back somehow.
I'm glad he
that
did. No, if he
show.
did it, something awful would have happened to him.
Oh, I know.
I'm so glad he got away.
Yeah.
But basically, gang, we're talking about the episode where his meth addict mother kills his meth addict father
Yep.
in front of him with an ATM after
Yeah.
they murdered someone.
Who
to
that
steal
alone?
it.
That
Yep.
alone messes up Jesse. Like he watches it happen, and that messes him up
Mm-hmm.
See, and the thing
because
is,
he's such a nice person.
yeah, this
Yeah,
shows
exactly.
his niceness. Is he is pretending to be unconscious because if he does it, that he might get shot. And
Is Jesse really that nice?
Yes!
Well, he watches this guy about to be killed, and he springs up, and he's like, no, don't murder this man.
Mhm.
And then the ATM springs open. He grabs the money, wipes all his prints clean, calls the police, which he didn't have to do.
He keeps the boy in the room, right?
And then he goes up and he gets the boy and he tells him to hide his eyes.
Yeah.
And takes him outside and says, "You're gonna have a good life."
You should have at least left him some of the money in the ATM, right?
That's true. The police confiscated it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like that,
that
is the one thing that like doesn't get answered.
I'm glad. No, he got picked up by social services, and then no matter what.
Don't say that. Like, just once.
Why do you need to be told? Police show up. That's what. Look up. Go Google what happens when police find an orphan.
I wish he was adopted by Elliot Schwartz.
Yeah,
there you go. Maybe the Schwartzes will adopt him.
Yeah, there you go. Make that your fan fiction.
Mm-hmm. Just maybe it was the kid that the guy shot in the desert. And that's why Chester is. How awful would that be?
That's pretty terrible.
I'm sure the kid will get his own spin-off at some point.
It's just a romantic comedy.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
He's in Better Call Saul.
Hey, where's your parents?
Yeah.
So I think at this point we also need to talk about Spanish. Because there's so much of this show that takes place in Spanish without subtitles. Go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why do you need subtitles? Context. Figure it out, Noah.
I know, but like
we can leave your anti-Hispanic attitude.
Yeah.
Hold on, that's
take some damn classes.
The point I'm making is that this show doesn't like feel the need to spell things out for you. It's just like, yeah, this is going to be in Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention. Maybe learn some Spanish if you really want to enjoy this show. I'm not going to subtitle this. I don't have time.
Yeah.
You got to go be brilliant.
It makes it feel more authentic that way.
Yeah, Godfather didn't do subtitles in a lot of the Italian scenes.
It's true. You ever see The Passion of the Christ?
No. Did they subtitle? The whipping hurts.
I don't remember. Every subtitle was "This is the Jews' fault."
I wasn't aware of that. I didn't think they'd let you see that movie. This is why.
I had to break into the theater. Mostly because I didn't want to pay for my ticket.
So, we have another fantastic character.
Not a lot of Jews in Breaking Bad.
No. We got Saul Goodman.
He's not really Jewish.
The character who played Hector was Jewish. John Margulis, Philadelphia native and Temple University graduate.
I only know about Saul because Odenkirk was talking about it at something, and when they were going to get like, we need you. His name's Saul Goodman. He's like, well, I'm not Jewish. Have a Jewish guy do it. Like, no, neither is he.
Right. Yep.
I just looked up methamphetamine in Spanish. Methamphetamina.
Ooh, that's...
See, it's not hard to figure it out.
No.
I feel like I'm the only one eating now, and I feel fat.
Well,
I ate so many fries, man. I'm way ahead of you.
Yeah. No more pollos.
But let's talk about how great Saul Goodman is.
Oh, man.
He's
I'm
great.
so excited for the spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
I knew about before.
Is it after?
Ended,
Is it his life after?
I think it's before.
It's before. It's a prequel.
That would probably be a better show.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was immediately like,
and then like Tuco and Crazy 8 and stuff can show up.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
I feel like we're leaving out a lot. We didn't talk about Skylar. We didn't talk about
Well, what do you want to bring up before we talk about
who was
Saul?
Who was Hank's wife?
Marie.
Marie,
yeah. I heard that actress talking about the spinoff. I think she's on board with it. So
really?
Well, all the characters could potentially come back,
right?
Or like show
I think
up.
my favorite character is going to be in it, which we can get to later.
Is it Mike Ehrmantraut?
It is indeed.
Mike Ehrmantraut's the best character in the show, and that's can't argue that.
I would not argue with that.
It's just
I'm a big Brock fan.
She's gonna need her shoe.
We can get that later.
Gonna want to get your car fixed.
We haven't talked about Hank's kleptomaniac wife.
Right.
Yeah.
Who steals and really suffers no consequences ever.
Yeah, married to a cop.
Really
It's a sweet deal.
It's never really important.
And she doesn't.
Yeah, it was like a weird one episode. Like,
they're minerals.
Like, are you stealing goddamn forks? Yeah, shut up.
Minerals.
they're like, we gotta fill 20 minutes of this.
Like, I was really expecting her at the end to steal something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually really fucking good at this.
You know, my the one Marie moment that always sticks out to me is when she intentionally runs over the kid's car.
Yeah.
When she's backing on the drive.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And Hank gives the kid a bunch of money because he's the nicest person. Right? And I liked them together for a while. It didn't work out, but they hung out.
That's true. And who else haven't we talked about that you want to bring up?
Skylar.
Yeah, we have not talked about.
Yeah.
His wife is in the dark so far.
Yeah.
She has a
Yeah, she think it. Yeah, it's not even. She doesn't even think he's selling pot yet.
Yeah.
Because Jesse comes around and she knows that he sells, or Walt says he sells pot.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Skylar's going to be more important later.
Right.
But we got. So let's talk about Saul. And Jesse does the greatest job introducing him of.
Seriously, when the going gets tough, you don't want a criminal lawyer, right? You want a criminal lawyer. Know what I'm saying?
Great line.
And I'm going to stand by the fact that
Say
he
it again.
is lawful evil.
I don't think he's evil.
Well, what do you guys think?
He's money over everything.
That sounds pretty evil.
Why is that evil?
He's definitely single-minded, and like I said, he's complicit in evil deeds, which I guess you could get into debate about whether or not that makes you.
Towards the end, when stuff starts to fall apart, he is like he gives like.
He suggests that they kill Jesse at one point.
Yeah.
He sent him on a trip to Belize.
The dude's a criminal.
No, I thought he was talking about Hank.
No, I think it was.
I think he was talking about Hank, and he was like,
at one point when they're by the pool, he says sometimes you have to put the dog down, the stray dog down.
Yeah. But Walt was saying that stuff too.
But he talked about killing Hank as well.
Oh, he talks about killing everyone.
Yeah.
That was also after Walt had established that he'll kill 15 people in prison. Like, he was just
Within,
he's
like,
like,
10
well, you've
seconds.
already murdered many people, so
Right.
why not murder more?
But I didn't like those people.
Oh, so because you didn't have a personal relationship, it's not evil for them to die.
Maybe they had their own story about how they broke bad.
Yeah. Maybe they were like good fathers.
Yeah.
No. I still stand
kids
by the
with
fact
MS.
that he's evil. Will obviously.
No,
doesn't think
I
it.
agree.
What do you guys think?
He's still one of my favorite characters, but
Oh, yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's evil.
He's fantastic.
I wouldn't call him good by any stretch.
Definitely not good.
what would
No.
you call him?
Amoral. I stick with amoral.
What would his D&D alignment be?
I'd call him neutral.
I don't understand.
I'd call him true neutral. He has rules, but
Neutral evil.
no, he's not evil. Stop that. Stop saying that word.
I think we need to also bring up the episode where they almost die in the camper for literally no reason. Where they go and they make like they make $600,000 each worth of meth.
Right.
And they're like, all right, let's make more. He's like, no, let's go sleep in a hotel. It'll be great. All right, great. Oh, the battery's dead.
Oh,
And then Jesse gets rid of all the water to put out a fire. And then they almost just die in the desert.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very interesting.
There's
to
some
put in
great-
the middle of this season.
There are some great scenes in there too, because they're out there in the desert by themselves, and Walt's cancer is like not gone or is kicking back in, and he's like coughing up blood. And there are moments where Jesse is like truly, sincerely concerned about him.
Yeah, well, this is where he finally puts it together. It's like, oh, that's why you're doing
Right,
this.
right.
Which means he was clueless for so long.
Yeah.
Why we were selling
Is
meth.
this the scene where Walt leaves his pants? Or is that before this?
That was
He
season
loses
1, I
pants
think.
in
Yeah,
the pilot.
the pilot
Oh,
episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
They make a cameo.
This was like a weird filler episode, but even like Breaking Bad has filler episodes, but they're all good.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like The Fly, to be honest. But we'll
A
get
lot of
to
people don't like that
I'm
episode.
gonna freak out.
I know, we'll get to that.
We can talk about that.
So let's talk about Jane. How much I love Jane.
Mhm.
And
She's wonderful.
I just want to smell her hair.
Except when she ruined Jesse, as women do.
Well, there's this.
She had the phone call where like we're quitting, and I was like, oh no. Yeah.
Well,
I didn't
they're
like her.
together, and then like she's like, oh, by the way, I used to do a lot of heroin, so I'd appreciate it if you were not a drug dealer. He's
But
like,
if
well,
you are, let's do some
he's like,
heroin.
well, I'm a drug dealer, and then she has that moment, and this is the only moment that I really hate Jesse. Is she looks down at her chip because he's about to go do meth, and she turns around, she goes to do meth with him, and I was like, Jesse, you should at least be smart enough to be like, no, don't do meth with me.
Yeah.
You're a good person.
Well,
Why
she
would
was
you-
only addicted to heroin, so I figured.
And then
You're like,
Yeah.
well, she won't be addicted to meth too.
And then she starts doing heroin with him, and they make heroin look great, by the way, in this movie.
Really? I don't look terrible.
It's
It's also not a movie. It's
yeah, I'm
television.
sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. But they're like, she's like, all right, just, shoot this into your arm and then lay on your side so you don't throw up and die. And then,
Yeah.
like, he takes it and flies away. Like, that's how they show it. And then, of course, they're all...
Yeah, they look like if I don't get home till like 5 in the morning, and then I'm up at like 11 and the sun's in my face, and I'm just on the bed like So you don't need heroin, guys. Just don't sleep.
There's a point where the baby crawls across the ceiling.
Yeah,
and his head,
his
turns
head twists around.
180 degrees. Yeah. He has a Scottish
And
accent.
Ewan
for some
McGregor's
reason.
like, I don't want to be in the new Star Wars movies.
Yeah. But then he was.
Guys, I think I just did a bunch of heroin because I'm totally confused.
You got to watch Train Spotting.
And Requiem for a Dream. I got that one. No, wait.
Huh?
That
That
is
was Trainspotting.
Trainspotting's
I'm
baby.
sorry. All right, never mind.
He
Oh,
sinks
I'll
into the
go.
floor. Yeah. All right. Now we can talk about Malcolm in the Middle.
So we should also mention that Skylar's pregnant because that's important now.
Yep.
Mhm.
There's
Little
a
girl.
baby coming into the world.
Yep.
And also, we have Gus now starting to make his
Yes.
appearance.
The
and-
Chicken Man.
Yeah, the Chicken
Mhm.
Man comes and starts to want to buy Walt's services.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Walt needs to give him the meth, but Jesse is too busy being high on heroin to help him.
Because he's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not awful.
He is.
I really like Gus though. Gus
Yeah,
was-
well, Gus.
I love Gus.
Well, we have to talk about what happens to Jane first before we can really get into Gus.
See, I no.
Yeah, Walt murders
Let's
her.
talk about that.
No, I
Yes!
disagree completely.
Yes, he
No,
does.
he does.
He moves her.
watches
He's the one
her
who
die
moves her.
and does
Yeah.
nothing to help.
Well,
That's
he's-
murder.
He's the one who moves her onto her back as well.
And actually, yeah, technically.
No,
Yeah.
I've heard people say that is where he really.
a lot of people on the internet.
Yeah.
that's
He
where-
really broke bad.
That's not like, oh, it didn't intervene. She died in front of him. That's
He-
murder.
He could have. He had the
He killed her.
chance to save her,
And he
didn't.
did it,
He
and I
did.
know,
and that's murder.
I don't, I don't consider that Walt killing her
He-
because it messes up the whole theory of when he kills someone.
Oh, so it messes with your theory.
Yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
did he start sleeping with Jesse?
No,
They
Afterwards,
started banging.
he dyed his hair black.
And he was beautiful.
He was. Yeah, he was gorgeous. He started painting murals on his wall.
Yeah.
But it's a lack of action. It's not an action.
Oh, don't give me that crap. All right, Switzerland.
Come on.
Yeah.
Jesus. We didn't know they had concentration camps.
Yeah, we just assumed all these gold teeth were appearing out of nowhere. So we figured they didn't need them anymore. They're Jews. They're smart. They can figure out how to grow their own teeth again.
Got magic.
He could have saved a life, and he didn't. That's it.
I agree. I agree that he should have.
No, it's murder. He killed her.
I don't think he should have.
You don't think you should have saved her?
No, she was getting in the way.
He
Wow.
was trying to make money, and she was stopping him.
No wonder you don't like Jesse.
I'm rooting for Walt through this whole
Why?
just like
I was kind of.
Oh,
I was
you're
kind of
gonna
rooting for
we're
Walter.
gonna fight when we start talking about
no,
Gus.
just like just like Scarface. I'm rooting for the bad guy.
Yeah.
Why would you root for Scar? He's a horrible person and a terrible brother.
Yeah, he's Al Pacino.
He's out.
It's true. There's no arguing that.
No.
So, we have. I love Jane. I did. And
She was black. She was trying to blackmail him though.
I thought you were going to say
black.
she was black.
No, she tried-
What's there to love about her? Just to clarify, I love women. Just as long as they're white.
I was saying she was blackmailing him. How could you like a person like that?
well,
Yeah, I didn't like her.
She's trying to save Jesse.
She was doing
A
drugs.
little bit,
She was
yeah,
doing
but
drugs
they were
with
gonna
him.
die in some
she wasn't
heroin
trying
house.
to save Jesse. She was
doing
trying to
drugs
get the
with him.
money.
She was using him.
Yeah, I didn't think she was a great person
Well,
either.
I also did love on the phone call. She goes, "This is Jane, as in Jesse and Jane."
Yeah, that's what she's like. We're quitting. And I was like, oh no, I've seen this.
I immediately yelled, "Meowth, that's right."
I don't know
got
that
it.
reference.
No, I got it.
Oh, yeah.
This was Pokemon.
Okay.
You guys
So
want to watch
Jane's
Pokemon?
dead.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
We lose Jane,
She's dead.
and
I feel like I would understand a lot more about Noah if I watched Pokemon.
I also thought it was interesting that the title of the episode where she dies is Phoenix, and
Mhm.
Phoenix is typically a like a bird that rises from the ashes.
Arizona.
He's also a place in Arizona.
Oh, it's also a place in
Joaquin.
Arizona.
Joaquin, that's right. Or River.
Right?
But he didn't rise from the ashes. But he did die of a drug overdose.
He
Yeah,
did shit.
that's right.
I found people who agreed with me on the podcast.
That would have been interesting.
No, not at all.
Oh,
You'd
you're
be
right.
like,
I
yeah,
agree.
no, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Next topic. Oh, I agree.
Yeah, very good point. Let's move on.
I've also never laundered
You're so
money.
good at this.
You're so handsome. You always have cool shirts.
So he lets Jane die. The baby's being born at
Right,
this
right.
time, and
Yeah, that's right.
we have
Sorry.
everybody eat more chicken.
Oh, hey, there's chicken.
I need another beverage soon.
I agree.
Uh,
too.
You're right.
Mhm. You look thirsty.
All right, I'm going to get up in a second while you discuss this, but the plane crashing. What do you guys think about the plane crashing?
It was crazy.
It felt a little phoned in.
It was so over the top.
Yeah.
Way over the top.
Like,
I mean, the show in and of itself
felt
was
like
kind of
Lost
over the
at that
top. But
point.
Yeah, I don't know if I
Like
felt
Lost,
Also,
yeah.
what was wrong with the pilots that they couldn't? There's been a lot of air, like in
Well, because
the sky.
that
Like you can move in.
is where most of the air is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're like, oh no, a plane! How will I get out of the way? Except in every direction.
Nah, it's happened.
Wait, it has happened. There's actually was a famous incident in Noah Handed Me Water. People listening, that's why I said I don't just randomly break into thank yous. There's a famous incident in Denver where there was like sound cues.
This happened.
Yeah. Where these two planes collided in Denver because I don't remember. I remember reading about it, but I don't remember exactly what happened. But
The guy working air traffic controller's daughter died in a heroin.
She was murdered by
Right.
Walter White.
Right.
She was blackmailing everybody.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
She was this black lady.
And played by the woman.
That girl.
All right. I don't know where
All
I'm going with
right,
that.
move on.
Anyway.
Just let it go.
But yeah,
Just
no.
let it go.
I think the pilots are pretty reliant on the air
Yeah,
traffic
the
controllers.
technology,
Yeah.
Well, when he said make a left into that plane,
You
I
should be
really
like, wait a
feel
minute.
Like he should have been like, wait, really?
Yeah. Is that how he said it? Make a left into that plane.
Into that other plane that's
That's a trusting pilot.
I was kind of hoping the bear that fell actually symbolized something, and I guess it really didn't.
Well, first off, you're wrong.
I am?
And
No.
It was pink, like Pinkman.
well, there's
It was a purple. I thought it was purple.
There's 2 points I want to make.
It's
Even though it makes less sense,
Good compromise.
I consider Walt being responsible for the death of Jane's father because he kills himself after this.
Yep.
And right after this is where Walt starts to lose his family.
How about the
Because
fact that
Skylar's starting to find out about stuff and is like, you can't live here anymore.
that's true? How about the fact that Walt meets Jane's father
Yeah, at the bar.
just
I
before he
forgot-
watches her die?
Wait, I forgot he killed himself.
Yeah, he kills himself.
What? Yeah,
And then he
water
talks
on
about
Mars.
Jesse as his son.
Yep. Yeah, he does. That's right.
Does he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
They're talking about their children. I have chicken in my mouth. And Walt's talking about like his son, and you realize he's talking about Jesse, not
Yep.
Walter Jr.
And that's why he goes back there to check on
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Jesse. Yeah.
So you're like, oh, he's coming. He's going to treat Jesse like a son. No, he's going to murder his girlfriend.
Yeah. Isn't that what fathers do?
Yeah, I believe
I know my dad.
Yeah.
If I ever have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
The weird thing...
to all of my exes, thanks, Dad.
this is symbolism I don't understand, but it's obviously symbolizing something.
What is
But Walt finds the eye of the bear that's missing
it? Right.
and keeps it.
He keeps it.
Like it's watching.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, the one theory that I heard is Heisenberg. Heisenberg is the name he has for his as his meth dealer persona. Heisenberg is known for the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, which is light.
You lost me.
I'm explaining it, so
Okay.
hang on. Light can act as both a particle and a wave. It reacts as a particle if it's being observed. So basically, it's the idea that we are observing Heisenberg, and we're really not sure if he's Heisenberg or if he's Walt.
Right.
That whole duality thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And the eye of the bear is supposed to be like this, him like kind of viewing himself, and so
Right.
on and so forth. But that's all I have for what the hell that bear symbolizes. I think the twins find it
Do they?
at one point, and they're like, "Yeah, it's an eye."
It's not a bad
They
thing
do
to
fi-
have
yeah, that's
somebody
right.
looking after you all the time, Walt.
It's true.
I like that there's all the symbolism, and I know people, like my fiance, we watched it together, and she just didn't care about the symbol.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
she
no,
just,
it's a bear.
she just
bear.
appreciated the show as being a good show.
Right. It's being entertaining.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's also people talk about the fact that the bear's face resembles, and we haven't gotten there yet, but resembles Gus's after the explosion.
Oh,
Yeah.
the eye.
Where they-
Ooh,
yeah,
where
where
it's
it's also
sheer-
purple, and he's wearing purple in that scene.
It's true.
Oh, that's good.
They're both cuddly.
Both cuddly, yeah.
Now,
Both
at
made
this
in
point,
Mexico.
is Walt?
No, he's from Chile.
Both made in Chile.
You racist guy.
Every other character in this show was either from
Yeah, but
the
it's
US or
important
Mexico.
that Gus is from Chile.
Yes. that's going to do it for part 1 of our Breaking Bad binge watching podcast. Tune in next week for part 2 when we finish this insanely good TV show. Also remember, this episode of the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Go to theprettypodcast.com and click on their banner to get your 30-day trial and free audiobook.